David Ben-Gurion was the modern-day Joshua. In a previous post, Stop Waiting for the Moshiach, he already came. It was Lord Balfour. I talked about the non-Jewish Messiah in modern times, which I contend is Lord Balfour. But what about the Jewish Messiah? Where is he? Shouldn't he have come right after Lord Balfour? When you think about the Jewish Messiah, you think about King David. He was the first, well, technically the second king of Israel. He was a military leader who conquered the Philistines to allow peace and to allow a temple to be built. How does David Ben-Gurion compare to Joshua and King David? So what do we have in modern times? What happened at the beginning of the State of Israel? There was the War of Independence in 1947, led by the first Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion. He won the war to allow more immigration of Jews to come back into the land. He also united the different Jewish militias into the IDF, albeit forcefully. He was the de facto leader and he was voted as the first prime minister. So he does have David-like qualities. But why wouldn't he be the Jewish Messiah? Because he didn't finish the job. He didn't finish conquering the West Bank and Gaza. After the war in 1947, he had a chance, and he thought he had the ability to also conquer the West Bank and Gaza. But he decided not to because he was afraid of repercussions from the US and Egypt. Then also in 1967, Moshe Dayan, who was military leader in the 1967 war, still didn't want to conquer the West Bank and Gaza for the same reason that he was afraid of the repercussions from the US and Egypt, even though we won the war and pushed Jordan and Egypt out. So neither of them finished the job. The conquest of Canaan in today's time. But you know what it does resemble? It resembles what happened when the Israelites first came into the land of Canaan from Egypt and Joshua was the military leader. Joshua fought against 5 different tribes of the Canaanites and defeated them to allow the Israelites to come back and have a space to settle in the land. But Joshua didn't finish the job. There are many reasons why it's cited that he wasn't able to finish it, and many of the reasons apply to today's time. One theory is that they needed the labor to help build the land, so they left some people there and they were laborers, which we have today. In Joshua chapter 17 verses 12 to 13, it states that the Canaanites who were left were forced to pay a tribute tax. Also, it's stated in Exodus chapter 23 verses 29 to 31 that it didn't happen all at once because so it wouldn't allow the land to be desolate and the wildlife to multiply. And as a negative consequence, those that were left shall be pins in the eyes and thorns in the sides, and they will harass you. Numbers chapter 33 verse 55. History is literally repeating itself. All of these reasons are applicable today. So when you think about it, history is repeating itself in today's time and nobody's paying attention. This all happened 3,000 years ago when the Israelites came back into the land of Canaan. So I contend that David Ben-Gurion is the modern-day Joshua. So where is our David today? Where is our King David that will finish the job? From Joshua to David, it's 400 years. Does that mean we have to wait 400 years before we have the real Moshiach to finish the job? Are we going to have to live in this situation with the Arabs always fighting with us for 400 years? God forbid, I hope not. So maybe is this war that we're fighting right now the start of the end of our conquering the Arabs to have peace so that we can build the temple? Maybe. But not unless the current Israeli government changes and the people change their thinking. They're already starting to change a little bit, but I don't think they're there yet. So I can only hope that over time, something will happen. We have to do one thing at a time. First Gaza and the West Bank. Then we've got Hezbollah and Iran to deal with. So, whoever is the one to finally finish the job and conquer all these enemies that surround us will be the Jewish Messiah. He will be the Jewish Moshiach. So God willing, it will come soon in our lifetime.